All right, we're recording. What's up, everybody? What's up, Chuck?
Hey, good morning from Philippines. It's almost 7 a.m. here.
7 a.m. All right,
We're
nice.
in the future, so it's what day is it? Tuesday.
Tuesday.
You guys are still stuck in Monday. Hate it for you.
It's Monday over here. Yep, yep. All right, well, thanks for joining. We wanted to put this video together. You made a YouTube video, I think it was a couple weeks ago, titled Got Bitcoin by a Rope. And
That's
it was
right.
pretty much smashing Bitcoin, ripping Bitcoin. And I made a comment and we reached out, we talked over email. And we agreed to do a video here. So I'm the pro Bitcoin, you're the negative Bitcoin. And
Yep.
I wrote some things down from your video. I got it written over here. And I'll just go through them and we'll just talk about it. We'll just do point by point.
Okay.
All right. So it's going to be a cool Bitcoin debate. Could be friendly, could get heated. Either way, it's all good. We're just going to have
All
some
right.
fun. All right.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yep.
So you said you did 25 years in IT, and Bitcoin is based on really common IT fundamentals. With that, I could agree with that. You know, it's that's not the invention of Bitcoin. It's just the real genius invention of Bitcoin is it put all these things together. So that's just
Okay.
what.
Well, I think that yeah. Okay. Um, crypto, crypto in general, I don't cared about.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit.
Sorry, my phone's trying to connect to my headphones. Give me a second
All
here.
right. Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
I think you're right. You can lump. Are we lumping Bitcoin into all crypto? Because if we do that, then all bets are off as far as your arguments. But are we just talking about Bitcoin here? Or are we talking about all crypto?
No, we're just talking about Bitcoin. That was another point that
Okay.
I had here where you kind of did conflate the two. So I wanted to bring that up. But no,
Well, I mean,
this is
you want to talk about the scams and all that stuff. Kind of crypto's had its share of scams to the tune of um, $300 billion. So that's just Bitcoin. So you can. Well, I take it back. I'm confusing that. So Bitcoin has had its share of scams, but crypto altogether has had like 300 billion worth of scams. So we kind of need to get an even ground here because if you're just talking about Bitcoin, we can just talk about that. If we want to talk about all crypto and Paktua, we can talk about that.
no, we're talking about Bitcoin only. All the
Okay.
other
All
cryptos,
right.
scams,
Fair.
nonsense, Bitcoin
All
only.
right. Fair.
All
All right.
right.
Fair.
All right. So let's start with this though. This is the only thing that I agreed with you in your YouTube video. And you said the stock market
The
trades in
only
the
thing.
only thing,
Damn.
one thing. You said that the stock market trades in some Bitcoin related stuff, ETFs, derivatives, and they're all going to
Mhm.
zero. They all suck.
They all suck.
So
Yeah.
that's the one thing I agree with you on. You're
Okay.
100% right. All the other cryptos, all the ETFs, all the derivatives, they do all suck and they are going to zero.
Well, I think that let's just talk about that just in general. Anytime you're this thing is supposed to be like the new whatever crypto gold, whatever, the new gold, whatever, digital gold, whatever cool term you want to call it. But the key here is once you get banks and institutions and governments involved, it's going to go to shit because they're going to have their own agenda, and you can't avoid that because I don't know how much Bitcoin you have and I don't care. But if I ask you how much Bitcoin you have, you're going to tell me it's in US dollars. So Bitcoin can never get out from under the US dollar, okay? Or whatever currency you want to talk about because that's what people understand. They understand the currency that they deal with every day. And Bitcoin, nobody deals with that every day. El Salvador tried it and it went to shit, right? So you can't deny that. That's a fact. They made it mandatory, and it didn't help them, and it was a problem. And so they tried to get rid of their fiat currency, and it was a disaster. So now they stopped making it mandatory, and 91% of the population hasn't used it in the last year. So that tells me that it's not ready for prime time, and it's never going to be ready for prime time, right? If a country like El Salvador with all of its problems can't take it on and say, hey, this is not going to go. It's going to keep its value and it's going to do all this other bullshit. Well, it didn't work for them. So that's my take on it. You get governments involved, you get institutions involved, and that's just showing the. I think part of the reason the Bitcoin's had us lost 40% in the last few months is because you got too many players in the game, too many people trying to dictate what's happening with it, and that it's losing its charm.
Yeah, I can agree. Once the banks get in, they're going to try to control it. But if you ask me how much Bitcoin I have, first of all, I'm not going to say. I'll say I don't have any Bitcoin.
Good.
But I wouldn't say I have $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. I have whatever US dollar. I would say I have one Bitcoin, a half a Bitcoin, 500,000 Satoshis. So no, I would use the Bitcoin amounts. But this is how money.
Well, you're one of the few.
Well, this is how money evolved. So money comes out, it's a collectible first, store of value, people get into it. It's not until it's widely accepted, widely known that it becomes a unit of account. People start pricing products and services in Bitcoin, unit of account, medium exchange. We start exchanging it for things. So that comes down the road. And I don't think we're far off from it, but I get what you're saying. And that was one of your points here about you can't use it in stores and every day, so therefore it's valuable. But I would argue, how about gold? When gold first came on the scene and people were digging it up, it had the gold rush. You couldn't necessarily use that in stores right off the bat either. It took time for people to accept it.
Well, you can't use gold in a store. I mean, go to Walmart and hand them your gold.
Right now, you can't even. Yeah, you can't use it now. But I'm saying when it first came back in the history of humanity, you were able to use gold. But when it first,
yeah, because there was lack of currency. I see what you're saying. Back in when that was going on. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, they were shipping gold around, and supposedly all these ships driving around the Caribbean, running into coral reefs and stuff. So there was coins way back in the day. But yeah, okay.
It takes time. It just takes time. So we'll say that. So what was the other thing? Actually, this was your next point. You said Bitcoin has no real functional basis because you can't spend it like you can spend cash.
That's right.
So you're right. But that's just how it starts. Think about this.
Well, wait a minute now. Hold on now. You just said every point that I made was false, and now you just said two of my points were true.
Well, okay. So yeah, I guess well, no, because you said it has no functional basis because you can't use it. I'll agree that you can't use it in too many places, but I will say I'll disagree that doesn't mean it's not functional or good.
Okay, so when the power grid goes out, you get a EMP from the sun or a nuke goes off. Well, how are you going to get your Bitcoin up?
Well, that's another point. Actually on your list too.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Let's skip ahead. Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Like, if you're holding some cash, okay, if you're holding some gold, some non-digital gold, you can touch it. You can throw it at people, okay. But your Bitcoin, the grid goes out, or the 10 people that manage Bitcoin that we don't know nothing about, their education history is not listed on the internet. Unlike the Fed, where we've got doctors, master's degrees, all these really smart people that run the federal currency. Bitcoin's run by 10 goons that nobody knows shit about. Okay, I could name the names. I have them listed. They're not in front of my face, but there's 10 goons that can be manipulated by these institutions that you mentioned, right? Who are they accountable to? Fucking nobody. So wait, let's talk about it. Let's go there.
All right. So there's a couple things you said there. So the grid goes down. Where's my Bitcoin, right? So there Bitcoin nodes, miners all over the world. There's like tens of thousands of nodes. So you're talking about worldwide electrical gone.
Look, if the worldwide all that crap happens, I can still have some gold in my pocket. I can still have some cash in my pocket. Yeah, there's going to be serious issues. But if you don't have internet and you don't have a bank, that's another thing. Decentralized Bitcoin, but you better have a goddamn bank in your neighborhood that takes it, that will give you cash for it, right? So you got all these things that you need. What
would you need a bank for?
How are you going to get your Bitcoin out to get cash to use in your outage? We already said that you can't spend Bitcoin down there at the Walmart, right?
So
how are you going to get cash?
We're talking about a worldwide electrical outage. If that happens, we're not going to be worried about money, gold, Bitcoin. You know what we're going to be worried about? guns, weapons, shelter, food.
True.
That's
true.
what we're gonna be worried about. We're gonna be trading shit
True.
because I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna want nothing. I'm not gonna want no food, or I'm not gonna want your gold for any of my food, shelter, weapons. I'm not gonna want gold, Bitcoin, paper currency. I'm not gonna want none of that. I'm gonna want to trade. Maybe we'll go back to the barter system if the world loses global electric.
True. You could say that. You could say that, but when it comes back, like when all that comes back, or maybe it's a temporary thing. You need cash. You got to have cash on hand. You got to have something, like you said, trade. You can't have Bitcoin on hand. How are you gonna have Bitcoin? You got to use an exchange. You can't have Bitcoin on hand. How do you have Bitcoin on hand? You have a wallet, and maybe you could do some kind of. If there's no power, how are you gonna get it? You at some point at the bank, you say you go down to the bank, they can open the safe, right, and they can start doing paper transactions, right? The old school paper transactions. People can say, hey, this is your bank account. Here's my statement. Whatever they can do that kind of stuff. And I don't know if they have the capacity, if they still have that. Whereas if all hell breaks loose, we can still give people their money. But if it's a temporary thing, it's just a temporary thing, right? You have to last a month with no money. You're gonna need cash. You're gonna need, like you say, you're gonna need a barter and all that stuff. But with Bitcoin, you're asked out of gas.
Is the power back on yet, or is the power still out?
Well, say you go a month with no power.
Okay, month with no power. The world's crazy as hell, dude. You better be able to fight, shoot, kill. All right.
Come on. All right.
It's out of control.
It's a month with no power. You can what? Banking system went to shit when COVID happened, and people weren't out pillaging and raping.
Well, we didn't lose electricity. Think about how wild it's going to be at night. It's pitch black. People are going to be savages out there. They're going to be breaking into homes, stealing. It's going to be wild.
All right. I see your point. Whatever. My point is, it's digital, right? When there's no digital functionality, the Bitcoin central servers go down. The 10 monkeys running the Bitcoin operation are hijacked. It could be anything, right? A banking system is backed by the federal government, right? So you can say, oh, well, I got 200,000 or whatever is insured by the U.S. government. Bitcoin ain't insured by nobody, right? So you got an assurance there that whatever money you had in the bank before the EMP came from the sun or the nuke blew up in California, you got some assurance that you still got some money. But if Bitcoin, the network blows up or the originators go away, what do you got? You got no assurance. I don't know those guys. They don't answer to anybody.
It's because Bitcoin is real value because it takes real energy to create, and the dollar is fake. So the dollar could be created for free instantly. And Bitcoin, it's like saying a bomb drops on your cornfield. Well, the corn's gone. How are you going to create the corn? You got to wait to plant it and grow it again. Well, you could just make dollars with the snap of a finger, right? So the dollars are worth nothing, and that's why. Corn is actually valuable. Bitcoin's actually valuable. You can't just recreate it at a snap of a finger. No.
Let's talk about that. You want to talk about that now? I mean, we're going off on we're hitting all the cool tangents.
We are.
So let's talk about the amount of electricity that's been wasted generating just Bitcoin. 360 billion since late 2008 has been wasted creating Bitcoin. Now, if you took that 360 billion and you put it in the S&P 500, how much do you think it'd be worth right now?
It's unknown.
2 trillion.
It's dollars.
2 trillion.
Okay.
Okay, but you can't pretend dollars don't exist. Okay, we're talking about Bitcoin, but we're talking about the fallacy of Bitcoin, right? So you can't pretend dollars don't exist. So if you took that 360 billion and you put it into S&P 500, you have 2 trillion. So what I'm saying is you say, okay, so is your stance that Bitcoin is an alternative and it's not an investment? Is that your stance?
I'm saying Bitcoin is the best money ever created.
Okay, cool. All right, it's cool. So if you would have taken that 360 billion and put it into something productive, you would have had 2 trillion, and just from the electric from making Bitcoin. That's not considering the resources that we wasted on that, making a bunch of ASIC miners that are just landfill now. That's not including the knowledge that we've given China to create these chips. And so now they've created these really cool chips, but now they can take that knowledge and they can use it against us and other electronics that we don't know how they're making these chips. Maybe they can make other chips that they can use for military gain or AI gain or all this other stuff. We've created geniuses in China and we've just sent them all their money to create this Bitcoin. Now, if we want to go on from that, we can go back into the dollar again and say all the crypto scams. Now, I know you just want to talk about Bitcoin, but I only researched all the crypto scams. And Bitcoin's crypto, so it's kind of lumped in there. All the crypto scams have come together and they think that it's between 200 and 300 billion people have lost in crypto scams. If they put that money in the S&P 500, how much you could think it would be worth?
So that's like saying I could have put my cash into pump token
You can't,
or
hindsight is 2020, right?
but just because something shot up doesn't mean it's better, right? We're talking about the
What?
fundamental properties, not about how much dollars you can gain from a system or a scheme.
Well,
Bitcoin
okay,
isn't a
but-
system
well-
or a scheme to create more dollars. Maybe that's where the disconnect is. Bitcoin's
No, there's
function
not a
is not to
disconnect.
gain more dollars.
Well, you said that Bitcoin can be generated from electricity. So that's what we got us on this point. Well, my point is what if you didn't have Bitcoin and you could use electricity for what it was designed to be used for? You wouldn't have wasted $360 billion in heat and resource. And what has that done to the air? I mean, how you could say that 360 billion has polluted the air, creating Bitcoin that's backed by nothing.
What's
It's,
electricity designed to do?
Well, make Bitcoin apparently.
That's one.
Right.
It's like less than 1% of global energy, though. The traditional
It's
banking
360
supply uses more energy than Bitcoin.
But that's an already established supply of money that's already functioning, right? We're talking about Bitcoin that came out of thin air and now it's used 360 billion worth of electricity.
So because it's
So,
new, a new technology, it's not viable.
No, I'm saying it's a waste of resources.
Why?
It's what has your power bill gone up since 2008?
Heck yeah, it has.
Good. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's possible that you're paying for the power production to plus up because it's got to support some Bitcoin miners?
No, it's because we measure and pay our bills in the U.S. dollar, which is infinitely created and inflated away.
Inflation is
how
okay.
much did
Okay.
your parents
let's-
spend on their
well,
home? How much did your parents buy their house for?
Who cares? I'm not saying
It's
inflation
a lot
doesn't
cheaper
exist.
than you probably bought your house for.
I'm not saying inflation doesn't exist, right? I never once said that, but you're
Well,
creating.
that's the main driver of prices inflating and going up is the increase of the dollar supply. It's not because Bitcoin came and used 0.5% of the world's global power.
Oh, okay. So you're just going to ignore the fact that that 360 billion has been wasted on creating this currency.
Well, I don't see
Then
it
it
as
could have
wasted,
been-
but okay, it's been spent. It's extremely valuable. It should be spent. That's a drop in the bucket. It's going to be a lot more. Dollars are going to inflate to the moon, and we're going to say it's trillions because the
Yeah.
dollars are going to go to zero.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. So what historical fact do you have that shows that? I mean, because
That's the hard part.
Bitcoin's
That's-
been around since 2008. So what historical precedent do you have that says Bitcoin is the best thing ever and the dollar isn't?
And that's the hard part why people have a hard time understanding it because it's something that there is no historical precedent for it. You have to look forward.
Okay.
It's like when the internet first
Okay.
came out, we couldn't possibly imagine that we'd be talking to each other like this over the internet. I'm in America, you're in the Philippines, and we're having a conversation over the internet. When the internet first came out, I mean, this is the Jetsons hologram talk. Never could have believed this. So it's very similar with Bitcoin. It seems crazy and out of control because we don't have anything in history to look back on.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah. So that justifies your excitement then, just because it's new, it's cool, it's got to be awesome.
No, there's many things, not just that it's new.
Okay. Okay.
It requires energy to create, proof of work.
Sure.
There's only
Yeah.
21 million. It's limited.
Oh, that. Yes, I love that. See, I love that you're telling all the cool terms. You're all the cool terms. And let me address that. The reason that you know that is because you've been marketed. You have been successfully marketed with Super Bowl ads and bullshit and all these other things that they kill you with the cool terms. Oh, it's FOMO. Don't miss out. You gotta get a hold of some. It's the best thing. When its true value is unknown. It's a solution. It's a solution looking for a problem. I mean, yeah, you can use it for inventorying, or you can use it to send money. Ripple is a good example. Oh, you can. There's an unlimited supply of Ripple, so you can use it and send money, and you don't have to worry about losing value. But let me tell you something about the limited supply. And I know you know more about Bitcoin than I would ever know. You've probably forgotten more
That might not be
it than I
true.
would never know. And I just don't care. I don't care. But the limited supply is as a 1 and a 0. There's no restriction there that says, oh, there's only going to be 240 million or whatever, however million of these coins. You got to fork it to make it change, I think, the limit change. But again, we've got institutions involved now. We've got people in power, and we've got 10 fools running all the Bitcoin rules. You think that those 10 fools can't be manipulated?
Who are
Money
these
makes
10,
the
who are
world
these
go
10
round.
fools? Are you referring to?
The 10 people that maintain Bitcoin code base.
So are you talking about the core developers?
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
more than 10, but okay, we'll go with that.
Well,
So what would happen if these 10 fools came and said, you know what? We want to make it 22 million Bitcoin. How would they do it? What would happen?
Then there would have to be a change in the code base, and it would have to be voted on, and it probably have to be likely a fork or whatever. But you telling me that's never happened?
Right, it would have to be a fork. Exactly. So
Yeah.
it would have to be a
Yeah.
hard fork. So these
Yeah.
10 developers would say, look, 21 million, it's not that cool. 22 million is a lot cooler. They put in the
Mhm.
code, they put in the proposal, they even make the change.
Yep.
Well, that would cause a hard fork. So you would have two chains of Bitcoin, the 21 million
Mhm.
chain and the 22 million chain. What do you
Yes.
think the people in Bitcoin would be likely to do? Would they all hop on the new coin that inflates their holdings, or would they stay on the one that keeps their supply limited?
Well, now you've got institutions involved. So the question isn't what I would do. Is the question would be, what would I be forced to do? Because guess what? All the institutions would say, oh, you're on the old Bitcoin. Get bent. We're only dealing with the new Bitcoin.
So you're
you
saying
wanna, you want to.
So you're conceding that Bitcoin is good. You're just saying there's an attack vector. There's a risk that this could happen. Because I can agree
Well,
that's a
million.
risk. There's risks to a
There's
lot
a
of
million
stuff.
attack vectors. Well, we didn't even talk about that. I didn't talk about that in my talk, but the fact that everything in technology gets hacked eventually just means that Bitcoin its numbers coming. It's already been the exchanges have been numerous exchanges have been hacked. The
But
coin
that's
itself
not
could be
that's
hacked.
not Bitcoin. That's
So,
not.
but the coin itself could be hacked. Or what my example is, everything in IT has been hacked. Bitcoin is just IT. It's IT based. It can be hacked.
How?
Right. So you're saying by quantum or whatever we haven't figured out yet.
Quantum? Okay,
It's all an algorithm, right? So, or not an algorithm, but a hash and a certificate. So what happens when that certificate gets hacked? Your Bitcoin ain't worth shit.
How?
That's what happens.
How does it get hacked though? We just don't
Computing
know. You're just saying
resources
it's
that-
possible. It's possibly
Yeah.
possible in the
Well-
future.
Well, you said, didn't you say some things were possibly possible earlier in the talk? Possibly possible that we have no power and you got to barter and all that stuff. Possibly possible isn't a possibility, right?
No, I
So,
didn't say that,
well-
but I'm saying if the electricity went out in the whole globe, it would be absolute chaos.
Yeah, but possibly possible, right? So why
Of
would
course,
it not be
right.
possibly
Anything's
possible?
Anything's possible.
Exactly. So possibly possible that the crypto, the certificates involved in Bitcoin could be hacked with quantum or whatever else.
Right.
And
I mean, it's
if it happens, and previous crypto has been hacked. SHA-56 was hacked. There's been many other
right, it's not
certificate
Bitcoin, though.
based, but it's an example of history. You got to look at history, right? SHA-56 was hacked. You know, that was a that was an encryption key for securing HTTPS, right? So certificate or purchases in your browser. You know, you secure communication in your browser. So that's it. We agreed that this was all based on technology and, you know, all that. So just the fact that that was hacked, that means Bitcoin could be hacked. It's based on the same fundamental technology, certificates.
Yeah,
So
that's life. You know,
what happens from that?
we have to take
Oh,
we have to take our risks, make our choices
okay,
based on risk
okay,
benefit. Does Bitcoin have enough
okay.
of a positive benefit that outweigh the risk, the possibilities of risk? I would say yes, it does. You know, we can't sit here and say I can't get in my car and drive to the store to get milk because I could possibly get in an accident, right? So we're going to weigh and
Okay.
balance the benefits to the risks.
Okay, so well, why would I mess with crypto when I can put my money in a bank and have it be insured by the federal government?
Because the money in the bank is not yours. When you put it in the bank, you sign over legal custody. The dollars that you put in the bank, yeah, that's true. You actually don't own it when you put your cash in the bank, believe it or not.
Well, that just means that they can invest it how they see fit when it's under their control. I get that. Okay.
There's a bunch of crazy laws with it, but it's unlimited in supply. It's created at will by a central group of people. You're talking about the 10 goons of Bitcoin. There's tens of thousands of nodes distributed across the world with Bitcoin. With the dollar, there really is 12 goons that create the dollar for free, the Federal Reserve, in any amount, no transparency. I'm sure.
No transparency. What are you talking about?
No transparency.
All these government officials have to be transparent with what they're investing in. What are you talking about? No, there's no transparency in Bitcoin.
The Federal Reserve creates the dollars and then they tell the public how many they've created. There's no way to verify. Okay. We have to trust the word of other humans.
Oh, okay. All right. Did you buy that baseball glove with Bitcoin?
No, I use cash.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious.
Are you into baseball?
Let's talk.
You know what glove that
I'm
is?
just asking. It looks like a Mizuno or whatever.
No, it's not a Mizuno. It's a Wilson.
Oh, okay.
But I do have a Mizuno too, actually.
All right. I played a little softball. I suck though.
Yeah, it's fun.
So the one thing that I wanted to ask you about was Satoshi.
Satoshi. Yes.
Yeah.
That's me.
So okay, cool. You've done a great job scamming everybody.
Thank you.
So I compare Bitcoin and crypto to like the stock market, and I shouldn't. Maybe I should compare it to a currency, but a lot of people think of it as an investment vehicle.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of my problem come in. And I just got a notification that the meeting is going to be over in 10 minutes. So
can we just go? How long did you schedule it for?
I got a free account, so that's all I got. Shit, now I can't see you.
Damn, I got a ton more, dude.
I know, I got a ton more. We can do another meeting. Satoshi creates Bitcoin and then disappears. I don't know how he delegated control of the code base or whatever to those 10 goons. I don't know. I don't care. He's got diamond hands, right? So he's got 1.1 million Bitcoin that he mined apparently.
Well, how much dollars? How much dollars is that? Because no one says how much Bitcoin they have; they say dollars.
It's 300 and something billion.
Okay,
actually.
So there you go.
So, okay, so touche. Of course, I've got to look up how much it's worth because 1.1 million Bitcoins means jack shit to me. I don't know. I don't care. So this dude is either the most diamond-handed investor known to man, or he's dead, or his Bitcoin address, he printed it out or kept it on his hard drive. He printed it out and threw that son of a bitch away
on purpose.
And
that's what I think happened.
Well, no, that's not where I'm going with this. He threw it away or ended up in the landfill on accident. We've seen that happen before. And he's seen it shoot up and now it's worth 360 billion, whatever it is. And he used that rope that I was talking about.
Yeah. Or
He
I
hung
mean,
himself.
there's so many possible possibilities.
We're humans. Yeah, but we're humans, right? The world, money makes the world go
Okay, but
round.
here's
You
the
can't
thing.
say that he's just gonna throw it away or hold it on purpose.
You
That'd be the
think
dumbest thing ever.
you think that he mined 1 million Bitcoin and he didn't mine more? You think that was it? He just gave up? He probably kept mining. He has another million or something, 500,000. Who knows? Nobody knows.
He's dead.
Maybe,
dead.
or maybe he's
Okay.
dead. Yeah, maybe he's dead.
He's dead.
Who knows?
And the reason I say that is because if he's alive and tomorrow he sells all 1.1 million Bitcoin, what do you think is going to happen?
Market will eat it up.
They're going to go to shit
Market
because
will
the
eat it up.
originator sold everything. It's going to be the biggest rug pull in the history of crypto.
Well, they're already talking about that with the Epstein files, and it came out that Jeffrey Epstein is Satoshi, right? And we had a dip, but
He's
gonna
not
go to
smart
zero?
enough for that.
well, I
No,
mean,
he's
but
not
people were
smart enough for
believing
that.
it. There's emails circulating online, and people were
Well,
believing
this-
it. So it's
Well,
not
this
gonna
isn't
make it
this
to go to
isn't
zero.
BS. We know Satoshi's address. We know how much he's holding and how much he's held since day one. So this isn't speculation, right? This is the real deal. This dude comes out of the woodwork
Transparency.
and decides that he's gonna sell everything. Not only is the value of crypto gonna go to shit, but everybody's gonna panic because they think it's a
will.
rug pull.
They will.
And everybody's so what happens if you base your country like El Salvador on a crypto that does that? You say the US dollar is made up and fabricated and whatever, but it's stable, right? You can't base your country on a currency that has swings of 2017 5xing or swings of today down 40%, and then Satoshi's holding on to 1.1 million and you don't know what's going to happen.
That's the
do you think?
perception. You know, the dollar seems like it's stable, but it's actually not, because it's a measuring stick of wealth that keeps getting bigger and bigger. The balloon keeps getting bigger and bigger because the amount of dollars keep increasing more and more. It's like trying to build a house with a ruler or a tape measure where an inch, 12 centimeters, whatever it is, a foot, 12 inches, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Just like I said, when your parents bought a house, maybe it was like 10, 30, 20 grand, something like that. When you buy a house, it's like 400 grand. So the money supply keeps inflating. So the dollar's actually not stable. It just seems like it's stable because that's what we all use to measure. And we let the prices go up and think that the prices are going up when really the dollar value is going down.
Okay, so you just said a bunch of words that didn't really hit on my question, because we've already addressed inflation in Bitcoin and how it can do whatever it wants, right? We've already said, okay, so limited supply. Well, no, it can fork.
But that's actually
It can
not
fork
true,
and be
though, because
unlimited.
well, there's an unlimited amounts of forks, though, but the Bitcoin chain will remain the same.
But it's institutionalized now, so they're going to tell you that whatever you had in Bitcoin is get
Well,
back.
that's a fight.
I mean,
Well,
you're
that's a
gonna-
fight. Let's go.
It's not really. Okay, all right. So cool. You feel like we got anywhere? I think we're running out of time on this one. You want to start another meeting?
Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. Is it just going to kick us off? Because I got a lot to do. I got a lot here. I got all your quotes.
All right. We're at 33 minutes, so I guess it's not panic time yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like you're really answering to them though. You know, like
Because
I
we're
guess
kind of
you
missing
said-
each other. We're kind of missing each other. I'm saying Bitcoin is extremely valuable for these reasons. It's limited in supply. It's decentralized around the world. It requires proof of work to make. It uses stranded energy. And you're saying, well, all that could be changed. It's all a bunch of rubbish.
It is. Yeah. Well, you know, all you're saying is the marketing terms, right? You're not really talking about where its true value is. You're not talking about, I've already shown you examples of how it doesn't work in El Salvador. I've shown you examples of how it doesn't work with wasting energy. I've showed you examples of Satoshi holding on to 1 million and it could go
But
to
it's
zero.
working. It's
because-
already,
because-
it's still
but
working.
you're saying these are real things, and you kind of just give me marketing terms back, right?
It's-
So
but Bitcoin's
let's talk
working.
about.
Just because it had
Is
failures.
Is it working? You didn't buy that glove with Bitcoin. I mean, what? It's not working.
That's right.
What is it working to do? What is it working? What problem is it solving?
It's solving the monetary system. It solves money. is what it solves. It allows
Does it?
me and
Does it?
you to exchange value. I could send you money peer to peer without anyone in the middle. We don't have to trust anyone. And we could
Okay.
verify.
You want to talk about that now? You want to talk about that now?
Sure. I think we
Okay.
already covered it, though, because you're going to say
No,
the 10
no,
goons.
We're the criminals. The criminals. Let's talk about that. Let's talk. That's the core. That's the core existential crisis of Bitcoin, is how it's been used by criminal organizations to further their efforts.
So what?
I mean, yeah, you can send me crypto right now, and nobody knows about it. No. So what? I mean, like, how is that okay? So you got people doing crime.
Do criminals use vehicles? Do they use cars and
Yeah.
trucks?
Okay, but but when you're able to fund your operations and grow your operations due to digital currency, that's a problem.
What about cash?
Okay.
Can they fund it with cash?
They got to ship it. Right? You can't just go to Western Union and say, I want to send $50 million to Habib and not have to answer a bunch of questions and give your ID.
So
So you
crime
gotta-
happens over banking channels? Banks never get fined and be found guilty doing.
But they're beholden to something. They're beholden to something.
They
And
get
do
fined.
okay, so Bitcoin doesn't get fined and found guilty. That you just said that you can send me and I can send me, and crime happens. But what funds crime? Money,
right.
currency.
That's
okay, dollars or Bitcoin. So you're funding criminals. Your Bitcoin is used primarily as a criminal enterprise.
Not nearly as
There's
much as
been
the dollar.
Okay, but you got to move the dollar. You got to break the law. You got to break the law to do the crime. You got to break the law to move the dollar across borders. You got to break the law to get it into cleaned into a banking system, right? So you got those three things. With Bitcoin, you got none of those things.
So are you admitting
Right?
right now that Bitcoin at least has one valid use case, and that's for criminal activity?
Yes, I am.
Well,
And it's the bane of human existence. Okay, so back to my points. Wasting electricity, wasting natural resources, enriching and smartening the Chinese that are making these ASICs, engaging in criminal activity, feeding and fueling drug habits that taxpayers have to manage with policing and drug programs and all this other stuff. That's just in the U.S.
what? You want a response for that?
What? I mean, do you want to respond to that?
No, I mean, I think I already did.
Okay.
It's
All right.
if criminals
so-
are using it, it must be useful, right? I mean, I use a vehicle. There's things that people use.
That's
a use case.
That's not the argument. That's not the argument. The argument is the funding illegal activity. You remember?
But what's
in your history
illegal
book,
though? This is the thing. Humans come up with
What's
these
illegal?
laws and make these things illegal. Oh, it ended. No. Oh no, it ended. That sucks. All right, that sucks. Well, we did. Look at his face. All right, we did. Hey, we did a decent video. It was all right. We'll see how it looks on the playback. All right, thanks for watching. I think we'll get another one. Hopefully we'll get another one in here. You know, we got to get this thing long, a long video. All right. Hopefully I'm back with part 2.